Okay, so this is how my system works. This is for bucket number 1, where you have to find out your financial situation and how to allocate your funds to the various projects or systems we are building, the various buckets. So you'll go with a very basic budget. There are comprehensive budget spreadsheets and worksheets that I do have for you to download if you want them. Let me know down in the comments if you want those. But for the system to work, we just need the basic information, the bigger picture, so to speak, so we know how to move forward from here. So you'll go with your monthly income. Now you can toggle between light mode and dark mode on my app. You can also change the currency. That was South African Rand, there's the USD, Euro, even up to the Philippine Peso. So let's just use USD for now. Alright. Then put in your income. So let's say 15,000 a month. Right. You can have monthly, annually, bi-weekly, semi-monthly. So choose monthly. Then your living expenses, you'll also see that whatever you input into your form will be automatically updated in the bigger picture. Alright, so like living expenses shows 0, but once you've added housing, for example, right, so let's say 3,000 for housing or rent, and you'll see living expenses has increased to 3,000 automatically. Utilities, let's say 1,000 for utilities, internet 700, transportation, let's say about 350, food about 3,500, insurance, let's say 100, healthcare 150, education 100, subscriptions, let's say another 100, debt minimums, let's say about 200, and another 100 for miscellaneous expenses. You can see that it auto updates all your living expenses as you input all the figures. Tells you your risk profile, which is a low risk, so you just need around 6 months of living expenses in your parachute. Now that will change depending on whatever factors you input over here. So if you're employed, you're a low risk, but if you're self-employed, you become medium risk, so you'll need a minimum of 8 months. Alright, you'll then need number of dependents. I've got 3. That will make me from a medium risk to a high risk, so it means I'll need a minimum of 11 months of living expenses in my parachute. That's how the system updates. Alright, very good. So my parachute fund for 11 months would be $102,300. Alright, which means right now I've got 0, but you can update that. Say you've already got some savings, alright, then you can just update that amount, update the current balance. So let's say 25,000. Alright, once you've updated that, now it says the outstanding amount is 77,300, 24% completed, and it will take you 23 months to fully stock your parachute. Debt elimination, we've got nothing so far. If you have debt like credit cards, car notes, etc., you add it over here. So let's say it will be credit card number 1, balance, let's say 15,000, interest rate, let's say 25%, and a minimum payment of 150, and I'll put in an extra $50 payment, and we add that as a debt amount. Alright, so that's your current standing for debt. You can add another one. Let's add a car note. Let's see, there's a car note, and the balance there, let's say 34,000. Oops, not there, over there, 34,000. The interest rate, let's say about 9%. Minimum payment would be, let's say, $560, and I can put in an extra $100 a month. Add that, it updates the figures nicely. That's the cost, lifetime cost of your interest that you'll be paying extra on those amounts. Disposable income would be $5,700, and now this is the important part. This is your breakdown. Your lifestyle, that is your general budget as it is now, is $9,300. Then you need to allocate $3,420 to your parachute to fund that, and whatever is left you will divide it between debt and growth, between the debt and the growth buckets. Alright, so that would be $2,280 divided equally between them, so that you can now start eliminating the debt and also building your business on the side. There's a little graphic that shows the allocation of funds. Now watch what happens. If I eliminate all the debt, if I delete those two debt items, then it means I'll have all that $2,280 just to growth. Alright, so let's go to my debt. I'm going to delete the car note. I'm going to delete the credit card. There's zero debt. And now you can see $3,420 for the parachute. $2,280 goes directly into growth. So you can build your business, whatever it may be, and use that for tools and resources to really accelerate getting into financial freedom. Now this amount can change depending on what you have up in your budget. Alright, so if you're changing figures in your budget, for example, your monthly rent has now suddenly gone up to, let's say, $4,500. Your utilities $1,200. Internet, let's say that stays the same. Let's say transportation is now $500. Food goes up by another $500 for inflation purposes. Leave everything the same. Now you will see that the numbers will auto update, and now your parachute needs $2,000 a month, whereas it was higher before, and now you've only got $1,340 for growth instead of the $2,280. That is how the system will auto update depending on the numbers you put in, and it will tell you exactly the amounts you need to put into your growth bucket, what you need to allocate to debt, and exactly the amount you need to fund your parachute, so you never have to worry about downgrading your lifestyle just to deal with an emergency, whether it's a medical emergency, whether you've lost your job, or some other kind of expense like maybe a car repair or something to that effect. Alright, once we know these figures, then we can go into bucket number 2 and start building our business. And we're looking at a business that would be 80% automatic. There is no such thing as 100% passive income. That is a myth. Don't let all these gurus lie to you. There is no such thing as 100% passive income. You always have to have your finger on the pulse. You need to know that things are going in the direction you have set it on. It's never going to be a linear progression from 0 to 100. There will be times when you move up to 60 and then you have a setback and you come back down to 45 and then you move back up to 70 and so forth. But you have to keep your finger on the pulse so that you can arrest any retardations and setbacks and start moving forward again. So the system could run autonomously for 5 days or 6 days a week, but at least once a week or twice a week, you need to check in to make sure that everything is running smoothly. Even if you set up a team to run everything in your state, you still need to check in with them at least once a week minimum to make sure everybody is pulling their weight and doing what they're supposed to do. You have to do this. There is no such thing as 100% passive income. It does not exist. Even if you give your money to a fund manager who will go and do the research on stocks and bonds and do the investing on your behalf, you still have to check in with that person on a regular basis, whether that's once a week, once a month, a quarter, once a year. You have to check in with them to check progress. Because what if they're losing you money but you're not aware of it? You need to take the money from that one's hands and put it into another guy's hands so that hopefully they can start making you money. So there's no such thing as 100% passive income. It does not exist. You have to do the work. Even if it is just 15 to 30 minutes a week, you're still doing some work. That is active income. Okay? This is how Bucket 1 works. This is just one part of it. And it's just to explain to all of you who's asked me the questions, how does this work? That is the one app that I have that you will get access to. It's just $20 for the first 10 people to gain lifetime access to my complete system. $20, that's all it takes. You get access to all my apps. I've got 5 or 6 of them. Few of them are downloadable apps. You'll get all of it plus future updates, plus you'll get a 30-minute onboarding call, and there'll be a once a month group call for everybody in the group so that we can keep tabs on each other, hold each other accountable, help each other along, give each other ideas, etc. And that's only for the founding members. 10 people at $20. Thereafter, it becomes a monthly subscription. So don't delay. Click the link in the description. Sign up today. I think there are only 4 or 5 spots left. Shout out to Camaro Jerry and to Angie Simple Vibes. They signed up yesterday and today. Welcome to the team. And I know you guys are going to make it happen. I know you're on the road to financial freedom. So I'll talk to you guys again in the next video. Any questions, leave them down below. I will be showing you the debt elimination app that I also created, where you put in all your debts and it will tell you which one of the 2 debt elimination systems works best for your case and how long it would take you to get completely debt free. So stay tuned for that video as well. If there's anything else you'd like to see, write a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer it. I promise. Issues I've been having here in the Philippines is we've had brownouts, electricity outages, 3 days this week. It goes off at 6 a.m. and yesterday it went off at 8 a.m. and it comes back on at 6 p.m. at night. The electricity, and a day in between that was on Wednesday, we had the internet off all day. And it's just so frustrating that I can't get videos out. So please bear with me through this, but I'm here for you. Any questions, leave them below and I will answer them. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.